So what are we in? We're in a cast-in-place foundation, poured concrete in between forms. The interesting thing about this house is the forms were the actual floor that was used. And this house was built by craftsmen. When you see the quiet floor aspect of things too, also parts of the framework for the forms of the house. So when I talk about that, it's because I want to talk about the fact that there's a concrete footing that the house is built on. Your foundation is built with the footing and then the wall that sits on the footing. Then the floor comes later, but it's heavy carpet. So when you have 3 pieces of concrete that don't have a system that collects, you're very vulnerable to it becoming a leak where the cold joints come together. Some last many years, some last some years, but at some point in time, it's dealt with. So how it's dealt with is the floor gets removed about 14 to 16 inches off the wall. Earth out to the bottom of the footing. Now keep in mind, your foundation wall sits on that footing. That footing's twice as wide as your wall. So if you got an 8-inch wall, let's just say you got 16 inches wide of a footing. So 4 inches of it's showing on this side under the floor. So that floor gets opened up so a fabric can be put in the floor. And that fabric allows water through it very easily, but it won't allow silt sands and things that are going to contaminate the system. And the system wants to drop the hydrostatic pressure of the water. Water's 8.35 pounds per gallon. 36 gallons of water is 300 pounds. That's all it takes to break your foundation. So collecting it and getting rid of it's super important. Now, this house has had issues with the windows. There's an issue with a cold joint that I'm seeing here, so I'm wondering if there was something maybe left in the wall. But at any rate, very minor in the repair there. There's really no cracks to talk about in this basement, which are very interesting. Now, the staining, there was water that has come up. First line of defense would be, when you're going to put a system in, you're going to have a sump pump and a basin. So you've got this trash can, if you will, that sits below the floor and a pump that sits down there. That water collects and then is pumped away from the house. So that's how a drain tile system, pressure relief system works. It's not rocket science, it's hard work, and it's basically gravity fed. So once the pump pushes it up, there's a check valve that keeps it from coming back on the pump, and away it goes. And we take it to a dry well or to your beautiful system that's outside. So first would be pump only. Second would be a 2-wall system, the front and rear wall. Third would be if you wanted to put a full system in. I realize you're selling the house, but these are the things, if I came with you to buy the house, that I would be looking for. This gives you what you're going to need as somebody would walk towards you to earn that. They're respected by this house from you. This is Stephen Burton from Waterproof Solutions.